The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
I'm eating an Oreo and it was delicious, and random questions from people, so that's always fun.
So we can shoot Justin like a message and say, hey, if you jump in, you jump in. I mean, we're live. We're live. That's how you do things. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. All right. You want to shoot him just a quick note and say, hey, Justin?
I mean, if he jumps in, and then it's like, awkward insert. So
I know, but like we have some good stuff here. I don't want to. All right, let's just do what we do.
It is what it is. It's the OT.
The bicep,
like literally the OT.
Oh, it's good stuff. Okay, before we start, how annoying would this have been? Yesterday, 2 days ago. Was it Friday? So yeah, yesterday. I was doing the PSVG proper podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 45-pound dumbbell sitting here. I was so bored because they were talking about, I think it was like PlayStation or Nintendo, something I could care less about. I almost picked it up and went to work. And then I was like, wait, that's probably like the worst podcast etiquette. Like, I would never think of doing something like that to the OT. Would that have been horrible?
It probably would have been a little inconsiderate, just to be getting your gains in the background. Like,
I wouldn't do anything with the tricep. I would have sat here and like, just yeah, no, that's sure, yeah, I'm totally paying attention. Because for a minute there, I think I put my head down on the mic, like I did one of these. I was like, I have no interest in this topic. I love all of you people, but all right. So we gave Justin an extra like 2 minutes of banter.
Yeah,
he's not shown up yet. He has the link.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
All right. So I make the cough noise. I do the intro. We pray he signs in. Worst case scenario, he doesn't. Best case scenario, he does. Either way, I missed you, dude. I
missed you too, bro. What's good?
Shut up and sit down.
What up, fam? I hope you are feeling the goodness of another year coming to a close and with some new things coming up on the horizon. I am your host, Coach Mo, and I am blessed to be joined tonight on this New Year's Eve-ish, sort of, with my dude, Big Dev in the house. What up, dude?
What's cracking, man? I'm over here chilling. It's much later than our normal podcast hours, so I know you're like,
it's 2 a.m. It is 2 a.m. for me right now.
Before we're done.
But again, it's worth it. I want to make sure we're finishing this year strong. We haven't missed a week since we did the double. We're on it. So things are good.
Consistency. Yes.
So real quick, what's been going on? What did you do tonight? I heard you did something pretty special this evening.
Yeah, we recorded that first ever PSVG DLC after hours. Just sat around, me, Justin, and Donnie, and just kind of talked and hung out. We answered a couple of never have I evers just to get the mood going, which led to some very, very interesting reveals. So you should definitely check that out. It should be on the page. It's a Patreon only thing, so I'm guessing it's going to go through the Patreon feed or whatnot. But it was just a good time. Told some stories, had some laughs, had a couple of drinks. It was cool. It was a fun podcast. I'm glad we could do that for our Patreon.
What I love about the Never Have I Ever list that I saw was there was only one thing on the list that I haven't done, and I was like, that would have been really awkward. And that would have been super weird. Now this is the list that was put on Discord. I don't know if it was the final list.
We didn't use that that list.
Good.
We used I think like one or two of them, but that wasn't. We didn't use that whole list.
So while I was waiting for you, because again, I was told you guys were starting at 10:30, which meant over at 11:30. It's 2 a.m. now, so I'm just throwing that out there. That plan did not come into.
Not at all. I don't think we started until almost 8:30 my time, so 11:30 your time. 12:30. I don't know. It was.
I got to watch. Me and Lace went to Universal. We were there for most of the day, like a giant chunk, because I had no interest in the Notre Dame Clemson game. I don't like Notre Dame. I was pretty sure Clemson was going to thump them. But I was like, hey, I want to be home right in time for that 8 o'clock Bama game because I love Nick Saban. Like literally, he's phenomenal. And so we left the park. She was not super happy about it. We left. Pulled in. I sat down. I watched Saban. I literally like pause, go over plays, write stuff down, take notes off what I was seeing him do, and watch them beat Oklahoma. Which again, there was no doubt in my mind they're going to beat Oklahoma. And then waiting for y'all, I jumped into a quick game of FIFA. I have been loving Noob Miss. Noob Miss is my favorite time of the year because all these people who didn't have these games earlier pick them up, and I get to go wreck shop with them. And I'm beating a guy 4-0 at halftime. That's when you texted me. And I was like, yeah, I'm up 4-0. I should be finishing a little bit. I get to 8-0. And at literally the 90-minute mark is when this dude quits. Like, you're losing 8-0. You have 40 seconds left in the match. Just finish your whooping. Like, don't be that guy. So that was fun. But
at least he wasn't one of those guys that presses pause and leaves it on pause forever.
So you can't do that now. You can't do that anymore.
Oh, nice.
Not since 16. Once your pause starts, a timer starts. So once that, and then you get 3 for griefing, and then you're out. Like, they get rid of you, and the other person gets the win. So it's pretty great. Nice. I've actually, I'm gonna tell this. It would have been like Madden 14. I was actually losing to somebody. It was like 13-10. Maybe it was like Madden 15. I'm losing like 13-10 online. And the dude paused for the 4th time. You only get 3. So the game kicked him out and I got the win. And I've never been more blessed. I was like, yes.
Got to keep that record clean.
Because I was actually in a money league where I was playing online for cash, and it was one of the higher tier rounds. And so I got handed the W, and I've never laughed harder in my life. Like, you messed up. Oh my goodness. Before the show started, we have a Justin sighting. What up, dude? How are you, my friend?
What up?
What's cracking?
I love the sweater. A little holiday theme.
Yeah, you haven't seen this tonight. Yeah,
I have not.
It's a little inappropriate, but I like it.
Holly has got it. I really love it. So all we did was actually we just talked about our evening. So I heard you were also on the PSVG After Hours DLC thing. Yes?
Yes, I was.
You had a good time? You really enjoyed it?
I did. I'm going to be honest. I'm drinking water now because I need to. So, okay. I just sent my wife good night, who's pregnant, by the way.
Respect.
She said, like, hey, can you not smell like alcohol when you come to bed? And I was like,
I got you.
All right. Yes. Yep. I understand. I'll drink some water and not smell like crap when I come to bed. So yeah.
All right. Well, we're actually to our stories time. So you literally showed up at that perfect moment, which is like a holiday miracle for us, and I appreciate it.
Perfection, sir.
We're going to talk about our first New Year's party where we went outside the house, where we're not with our immediate family. Okay. So I of course, like in normal fashion, I'll go first, giving you guys time to think. But my first New Year's party was back when I was the freshman, Coach Mo. And you guys know that Coach Mo, he was the one who got dumped a year later twice and didn't know about it. So I was not always super obvious to things happening in my life. So I'm currently dating a very good basketball player who was a senior. And she goes, you want to come to this New Year's Eve party? And I go, sure. So I show up to the New Year's Eve party. I walk in and I see all the things like they put on the thing, be there by 7, right? So I showed up at 7. No one was there. So guess what I did? I went home. This is before cell phones are popular. So I go back and I'm staying with Mama C. Now, Mama C, what I love about Mama C is she was one of the most hard-nosed women on the planet, but she also knew that we needed to learn from our mistakes. And though to learn from a mistake, you have to have mistakes, right? And so I come back home and I go back to my room and I put my feet up and I think I was reading. So she comes in at like 8:30 and goes, hey, big guy, what are you doing? And I go, oh, no one was there yet. She goes, well, what time did you go? I'm like, oh, they said to be there at 7. She goes, well, you do know most parties on New Year's Eve start later because, the clock strikes at midnight. My mind blew. I was like, really? That is ridiculous. Who knew? They said be there at 7. I was there. Nobody was there except for like these 2 people I didn't know. So I left. So I show back up. Right. I walked I think it was like half a mile from where I was staying. I walked back over there. And hey, the girlfriend's there. She's like, "Oh man, I was wondering where you're at." I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't come 3 hours ago. I totally came just now this time." So we're hanging out, and people start drinking. Now, for me, I don't do the alcohol thing, and I don't judge people who do. That's your choice. But I'm of the belief I would rather eat my calories than drink them. You offered me a beer or a spicy chicken sandwich, I'm taking the sandwich.
I can respect that.
Yeah, you offer me, a shot or a stack of powdered donuts, I'm making that choice wholeheartedly to the donut side. I have no problem with that. I do not have an issue with my choices. I respect them. I'm happy with them. But so I'm like, "Hey, is it cool? I'm gonna bounce." She goes, "Oh, are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, can you wait to kiss me at midnight?" And I go, "What if I come back?" She's like, "Okay." So she's hanging with her friends. They're drinking. So I go over to this little basketball court and I start shooting. And another girl comes over, starts hanging out with me, starts talking to me. I'm not realizing she is flirting with me, guys. Like, I'm not picking that up. In my brain, it doesn't compute that pretty girl coming over to the park to shoot hoops, following you from a party means, hey, I think you're cute. I didn't pick that up. So as it gets closer to midnight, I go, "Oh, hey, I got to go. I'm going to go kiss my girlfriend at midnight. Thanks for shooting around with me." Get to the party, kiss the girlfriend. As I'm leaving, the girl who's shooting at me picks a fight with the girlfriend. And I'm sitting there going, "I wonder why everyone's so angry." And I go home. Yes. I actually found out again later. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand there and stick up for your girl. Evidently, I, again, didn't know what I was doing was wrong. But I went home and learned from the mistakes for weeks afterwards. So that was my first New Year's Eve party. So, Dev, tell us yours.
So I can only think back to 1999, senior year of high school. I feel like this was the first. Yes, I got to party like it was 1999. 1999. It was great. One of my best friends at the time, my boy Chris Brown, he threw like this. I almost want to say we threw, because I definitely was part of the setup and everything. We threw like this pretty huge party at a really nice house, just like down the way from where like pretty much everybody stayed in the neighborhood. And it was just like your typical house party, but it just happened to be, it's we're about to turn 1990. It's 1999. Like, it was just awesome to be able to experience that, senior year. You're feeling like an adult. I wasn't drinking because I didn't start drinking until college, like actually having alcohol. So we didn't drink. Like, it always, kind of amazes me when I hear about kids who were drinking in high school. I'm like, I didn't see anybody drinking. Who was drinking in high school? Where was y'all getting that at? So that always like amazes me. But we just had this really, really just cool kickback party. My wife, we were dating at the time. We started dating senior year in high school. So we were dating. So we got to have our first New Year's kiss and everything. And it was turning into 1999. So it was just a really, really fun time. We played the Prince song and everything it was glorious. It was a really, really good night. And I think that's the first like New Year's that I can remember not being with my immediate family.
Man, Justin, how about yours?
So, opposite of you guys, I was kind of the bad kid in high school. I partied and I drank a little bit. And, so my senior year, I think it was my senior year, I was already dating my wife, my now wife. And we went up to a cottage, for New Year's Eve. My buddy's sister's boyfriend had a cottage up on a lake. And a bunch of people. So it was me, a couple of people my age, and then a bunch of people who were older than me. So went up there for New Year's Eve, and I did the high school stupid thing of just drinking way too much, drinking the nasties. Okay, so I was a big fan of Lil Wayne in high school, so I thought the coolest drink to have was Hypnotic, which is Disgusting. Tastes like cat piss.
Once I don't know what that is. What is that? Just so I can not sound like an idiot.
I think it's literally described as a liqueur.
Like a 40.
No. I see. That's why I don't know what it is. Is the problem?
It's not quite hard alcohol, but it's not exactly not hard alcohol.
So it's like a step up from a 40, but a step down from like whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. It's that middle ground. Usually would mix it with something, and we used to get drinks called like the Incredible Hulk because they would mix it with something that would turn it green or whatnot. It was pretty popular in Justin's era of high school. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. So like I don't know. All I remember, Lil Wayne, Cribs, Hypnotic. So I'm drinking that. I did not end the night on a good note, I'd say. So I was sitting in my car, like puking outside of my car, as gross as that is, and my now wife forced me to clean my crap up, drink some water, and kiss her at midnight. It was like our first like New Year's Eve together. We're still together, so I guess it worked out. That was like my first New Year's Eve. I had other New Year's Eve away from my parents. Like I babysat on Christmas or New Year's Eve a few times and stuff like that. Make really good money. If you're a young kid and you can be responsible, go babysitting on New Year's Eve. I'll tell you what, I made mad money on New Year's Eve by sitting and watching some 6-year-olds. So, but no, that was my first like whole night away, up north at a cabin. So,
all right.
Nice.
Now, from there, we get into our questions. We had 4, but thanks to our dude Grouchy, we're up to 6. So I'm pretty jacked about some of these. So our first one, Marco asks, pineapple pizza, does it have to have ham? So we'll go to Justin first. Pineapple on pizza, does it have to have ham?
It doesn't have to have pineapple.
Okay, wow. That's a problem.
I don't get you. My wife's the same way. She likes pineapple pizza. We're vegetarians now, so we don't do the ham. Period. Mm-hmm. I don't get pineapple at all. You don't mix sweet with that pizza.
Yes, you do.
I don't know what you're saying right now, Justin. Like I feel lied to. I feel hurt. I'm not. All right, so Dev, pineapple on pizza. Does it have to have the ham?
I've never had it without the ham or the Canadian bacon, whatever the hell that is.
And sliced ham.
That's a good question. See, now I just want to order like pineapple on pizza without it just to see what it's like because I've never had it without both. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with it. It doesn't have to have it, but I think the salty and the sweet just kind of balance each other out, and that's what makes it so glorious. You're missing all that heavenly glory, Justin. It's amazing.
Oh, go ahead, Justin. Go ahead.
I was like, I don't know without. I'll be honest.
You and Kevin both.
So real quick, if you're not going to go to like a real pizza place, so if I'm not going to go to like Giordano's and get a nice deep dish, okay, if I'm going to go to one of these mom and pop, little places like a Papa John's, one of those, if I'm going to get pizza from some place that's third-rate pizza, right? Still isn't bad pizza, but like the bottom tier pizza. You go to Papa John's and get just a pineapple pizza. Perfect. It's really good. They do a great job, and their sauce is already a little bitter by itself because it's not a very good sauce. Okay. Or you do a chicken onion barbecue pineapple pizza. Very, very good. Okay. And the last one, this is my favorite that my wife invented. Extra sauce, no cheese, pineapple, green pepper, onion, mushroom, olive, and you put your own cheese on when you get home. She has a Gouda spread she puts and rebakes the pizza. Phenomenal. Like that's a good pie. Like it makes it better. So yes, doesn't have to have the ham. I'm 100% on that, Marco. Dakari says, best advice for a new parent. Now, I actually brought this one over because we were getting to Justin. I am not a father, to my knowledge. So I have nothing to say other than if you Heisman them, they go to bed faster. So, Dev, best advice for a new parent.
Don't Heisman your children.
Oh man.
Don't do that. That hurts them. Like physically, it'll hurt their feelings. They'll feel slighted, and they'll probably sit there and cry and wonder why Daddy Heismaned me. No, but I mean, the best advice I can give: try to temper your expectations. every single child is different. If we would have had my son before my daughter, I don't know that we would have had a second child because he was difficult. Like he requires a whole lot more effort than my daughter did. My daughter was just like the perfect little angel. Like she was easy. You could take her anywhere. She wasn't crying. She wasn't running over the place. She wasn't trying to get into things. Where Hudson is like the exact opposite. Like they could not be any more different. Like they are literally night and day. And if like you see, friends or whatnot who had a kid and you expect your experience to be like theirs, you got to taper that because your child is going to be different. Your dynamic is going to be different. So just try to go into it, just knowing that you're bringing a child into the world. Things are going to change. Like it's no longer just about, the two of you. You're now a we. Like you're bringing in another life, and you're going to have to care for it and give it love and all of that wonderful stuff. But like the best thing I can say is just to kind of temper your expectation because, things are going to be different. Just expect the unexpected. There are going to be so many things that you would have never imagined were going to happen that are going to happen. Also, you can't break them. Like they're made of rubber. It's really hard to break a baby.
So you should Heisman them then, is what I just heard. Whatever.
If they're crawling, you could, and you'll be okay. But they're like made of rubber. They're really, really hard to break. So don't be so worried about that.
Okay. Justin, as one of the newest soon to be parental people for the PSVG team, what's your advice?
Well, yeah, I don't have advice. I'm scared. I'm scared.
You're allowed to be scared, but like, what are you doing right now in preparations for this small human being that's about to come into your life in however much time?
You know what it was? The second I knew what was happening, we were gonna have we just found out we were gonna have a daughter, and it's all very exciting. I was like, you know what? This isn't all about me. I'm used to spending my money on me. And I was like, it was a weird switch. I was like, you know what? I don't need that stuff anymore. The stuff that I'm used to eating, or the stuff that I'm used to going out for lunch. I'm used to buying myself whatever game I want and stuff. And I was like, none of that stuff matters. Let me save up some money. And because I know that I'm going to have a lot of expenses coming up. And, and I want to give my daughter the best I can. And it was kind of an immediate switch where it's I'm used to thinking about me and my wife, but now it's well, now I'm really just thinking about one person. That's the kid that we're bringing into the world, which I'm excited about. So that's kind of I think you should be able to make that switch,
Respect. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Heisman the kid. I think that it can only help them in the end. Yeah. If you're not giving them the Heisman, they're not. I don't know. All right. Next question comes from Michaela, and she says, if you can get 1 hour to talk to one of your idols, what would you guys talk about? So I'll go first, give you guys a little time to think, because I actually said mine earlier on either the show or the pre-show. I would talk to Nick Saban. Nick Saban has probably forgotten more about defense than I've learned in my entire life. Me breaking down the film of his games, I learned more than I've learned at every football clinic I've gone to in the last 15 years. I would literally just ask him about corner play. I would just say, teach me everything you do with your corners. Teach me how you make this cover 7 read. Cover 7 is the scariest defense in the world because it's either going to be so good the offense cannot pass the ball, or your corner messes up and somebody's wide open. It actually happened in the Oklahoma game. Patrick Surtain Jr., he ended up going inside in the cover 7 instead of staying in his outside lane, and the guy was left uncovered for a big gain. And what I love about the cover 7 is the way it reads and adapts. And on half of the field, it could be cover 4. The other half is cover 3, or it could be the middle of the field is in cover 2 and the outsides become 1s. It changes so much. And I would love to spend an hour learning from the guy who invented it. So with that, Dev, you have your idol. You have an hour. What do you guys talk about?
I'm trying to figure out who's my idol. I don't know if I've had one. I never think about stuff like that.
Weird.
If it was idol. I mean, I feel like maybe the only person I want to sit there and pick their brain would be Jordan. And I would ask him about all the nitty-gritty, dirty stuff. Like, tell me about the locker room.
Tell me about the flu. Were you actually sick?
Right, the flu game. Tell me about all the wagers that you've made and all the people that you've just tell me about punching Steve Kerr in the face.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
that
basically probably what I would.
Like, I'm just saying, like,
want to punch him.
Yeah, like when you see Steve Kerr, even though he's great, I love him as a human being. He has that face that says, punch me right in the noggin. Like, give me a little chill music, man. I don't know, just me. I always felt the same way about John Paxson, though. I still feel the same way about John Paxson.
They feel the same role. They're the same player, basically.
Yeah. All right. Talking to Jordan. Justin, Idol Hour. What are you doing?
I feel like I'm in the same boat as Dev. Like, I don't really have an idol. You know, I'm not a huge sports fan, which I know, don't kick me off the show yet.
No. It could be like someone in gaming. Like if we would say gaming, I would have asked Kim Wallace to teach me about the game that's coming out in a month.
You know, I guess like I look up to like Elon Musk. I know that's like really predictable, you know, but it's like, you know, it's like dude just kind of wants to do a little bit better in the world. So I think I'm in the same boat. That's the reason I'm a vegetarian, honestly, and I try to lower my impact on the earth, basically. I feel like, you know, and but the problem with that situation is I've heard that dude talk way over my head. Way over my head. He's on another level. So like, yes, I would love to sit down and talk with him an hour. Probably just ask him what I can do as a normal human being to like lower my impact on the earth, or what he thinks, you know, and maybe just ask him how he makes that sweet cheddar, you know, because you know he ain't doing this all, you know, for free. So.
All right. Our next question comes from Grouchy, and he actually has two questions. So the first one, question one, tell us an amusing story involving your proposal to your wife. This can be in the planning stages, the actual proposal, or anything shortly after. So mine's pretty easy. I sent my wife on a scavenger hunt, and after, you know, the scavenger hunt, that's normal me from college. I'm a goofball, so I just tell that all the time to people. Like literally, I once, I can say this. There was a time in college where a Honda Civic found its way parked into our cafeteria. Now, I will not say who did it. I'm not going to do that, okay? Because I'm not going to incriminate anybody. But I am going to say that my wife was 1,000,000% sure it was me, and my wife's not wrong. So I was like, everyone knew I was going to do like crazy stuff. So me sending her on a scavenger hunt, I probably did that 15 times in the period of we dated and since we've been married. But the preamble, I'm a Bears fan. I'm a diehard Bears fan. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a Bears fan. I've been a Bears fan since birth. My first word was ball, and I was pointing at Walter Payton. Okay, I love the Chicago Bears. I will always love them. I have a deep passion for that team. My wife's father is a Vikings fan. That is a tough crowd, folks. That is not a good world. And so when me and him had to be alone for me to ask him, I will tell you now, I have been in a lot of fights. I've been in a lot of brawls. I've been in some dirty, bad situations in my life. I would take every single one of those over that conversation. Because it's like, I felt like the pause after me asking, hey, can I marry your daughter? I feel like that pause could have been 3 years long. Like, I physically aged during that pause. It was super uncomfortable. And literally, like, after the pause, he goes, what took you so long to ask me, man? I thought you were going to do it this summer. And I was like, oh, whew. He said yes. I'm like, all right, let's go. That was my amusing story, though. Dev, tell us your amusing story.
Unless you count driving home from San Diego and discussing it and then becoming engaged amusing. I don't have an amusing story.
That is an amusing story.
Well, I mean, San Diego's beautiful. Yeah, Los Angeles is beautiful, you know.
SeaWorld, but the real Shamu?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just one of those things where we just kind of knew that was where everything was progressing, and we were just talking about it. And on the way home, she was like, let's just set a date. So we did. And that was pretty much our engagement story.
Justin, how about you, bud?
So I'm a little bit of a romantic, you know.
Ooh, like that.
I've been with my wife since high school, and she had always kind of said that she didn't need marriage, you know. Mm-hmm. And I respect that and I understand that. At the end of the day, I guess it is just kind of a document. But to me, it was something bigger. I completely surprised my wife. We went on a trip down to Chicago. We're from Michigan, so we went down to Chicago. I paid a little bit extra for the Penguin experience, and basically that includes you with a handful of people go down to like a special room, and you get to like be right in front, like a couple inches away from Penguin. And I took that opportunity. While she was up, while we were taking the picture for the Penguin, that's when I proposed to her. So I proposed to her in Chicago in front with the Penguin. We've got a picture, a cute little picture of her holding up the ring in front of the Penguin. And there's not a lot of things I'm proud of in my life. But being sweet and I think coming up with that moment was something I'm pretty proud of. So
no, that's great. I was going to say, I've actually had someone pay for us to go down to do that before. I was too afraid of the penguin attacking me because I don't like birds. Listen, y'all mess around. That thing still has a pointy beak. I'm not playing around. I don't like putting myself in situations that can be dangerous. Just saying.
He's like as big as your shoe, Mo. You could punch him.
Listen, my dog Daisy, the little one, she's 50 pounds. I've watched her take down a German Shepherd and put it in the hospital. All right, little things can still be dangerous. Let's not mess around. All right, so it was one of those things. It's the same reason why I won't go near a gator. I don't care if it's like the 2-foot gator. I ain't gonna buy that thing. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I definitely ain't messing with no gators. That's just
no.
And
nah. Okay. So the second question was, and this is from Grouchy. And I love this. He says, I want to do a segment with my co-host, most likely released as a standalone, where we take questions that cool people ask other podcasts, write them down as I listen, that I find thought-provoking. I want to call this segment in honor of your show, the Double Overtime. Yes, I'm good with it. Dev, you cool with the Grouchy doing that?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Justin?
As honorary guest, of course. Yeah.
There we go. Awesome. So that's 3 yeses. Don't tell Donnie. Okay, he doesn't listen to us anyway, so you don't have to worry about him hearing it. Yeah. Don't tell Donnie, because sometimes, he gets really mad and a little angry. I saw him beat a person up once for stealing a PSVG logo. The police were involved. It was crazy. I think 3 people died somewhere. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but it was insane. So just don't tell Donnie and you'll be fine. And if you can, make sure you cough at the beginning of it, because it's what we do for Kevin, and I think it makes it better. I don't know. So good luck with that, Grouch. We believe in you. Our next question comes from Tay. Tay wants to know, would you ever sing on a podcast or stream? But before I actually ask this is a pet peeve of mine. And I'm gonna tell a story, because this actually happened like 2 days ago. So I watch a lot of Mixer because I like having it in the background. Okay, I put on the Mixer channel, the Mixer one. I just let it stream, and I see all these cool people. And sometimes I see someone, I say, click. Yeah, I'm going to follow you. You're awesome. Way to go. Yes, 2 days ago, this guy gets in. He's playing music. I'm like, he's not a great singer. He's not bad. Like, nah, I'm just going to listen. Homeboy goes, hey, if you guys sub right now, this will happen. And I'm like, nah, I don't like the songs. Then he comes back and says, oh, I'm going to play, and here are the songs he lists. These are the 2 I hear, right? He's going to play the 1,000 Mile song by Vanessa Carlton. Okay. I don't like Vanessa Carlton, but I love that song. Like, I will jam out to that in the car. I don't care who you are. If you are a human being and 1,000 Miles comes on, you're singing in the car. Okay. And then he mentioned my girl M Branch, all you wanted. Okay. And I love Michelle Branch. Okay. There are not a lot of people I love more than Michelle Branch. That girl has talent and is awesome. Love her to death. Been to her concert twice. So I go, you know what? He just said M Branch. Yeah, I'll follow. Let me listen for another hour. He finally plays a song, and he plays Wonderwall. I don't know what a Wonderwall is, but it sucked.
Okay? Whoa. We will not talk about Oasis and Wonderwall.
I don't know who that is. Great. Oh, is that who sings it? Yeah, that was not a good song.
That song is amazing.
No. When the options are 1,000 Miles or All You Wanted, and then I get Wonderwall, boo this man. So I'm
taking Wonderwall every single time.
I don't even, I was so mad it wasn't the song that was promised. So I got on there and I said, hey, that is not the song that was promised. He's like, oh yeah, I didn't feel like opening the music for it. Unfollow, have a good life. So if you're going to sing on a podcast or stream, you freaking sing what you say you're going to sing. Don't be tricking people into clicks. All right. Cause that pissed me off. I was upset. Like I was visibly angry about that for a minute. Okay. So if you're going to do it, do it. If I tell people, hey, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to sing Bended Knee by Boyz II Men, and I start singing All for One's, what was their hit song?
I Swear.
If I start singing I Swear, people are going to be pissed. Just like I was pissed. You made a promise. You gave me 2 options that made me follow your behind. You play the right song. So, Tay, I would never do it. Like, I'll sing at practice or school or goofing off. I'm not singing on stream because I'm not good enough. Okay. I'm already bad at talking on a stream, let alone singing on one. That makes it even worse. So no, I'm not doing that. Maybe I would sing on a podcast for fun once, but I would like practice like days beforehand to make sure I was ready. So let's go Justin this time. Would you ever sing on a podcast or stream?
I would sing if I was asked to, like seriously, but here I'm a horrible singer. Absolutely horrible. I was famously asked to stop singing at a karaoke night. It was my 21st birthday, so don't blame me too much. There might be other factors involved. Yeah,
the other factors, I'm going to put 100% on that.
Regardless, I was asked to stop singing at a karaoke night at the bar. I'm not a good singer. I absolutely envy people who can sing well. Like it bothers me so much because I love music. It's like one of my favorite things. I listen to music all day. I listen to a lot of hip hop. I listen to a lot of pop music. I listen to everything, I would if I was asked to, but you don't want to ask me.
If you get an opportunity, Michelle Branch's last CD, phenomenal. Just saying that.
All right. Okay. Dude, I'm not Michelle Branch. I've never listened. I'll have to. Coach, I will listen to this week. I promise. A lot of
people hated on her 2017 CD. It was phenomenal. I loved every minute of it. Really, really good song or CD. So, all right, Dev, how about you?
I'm calling your bluff. I feel like we've definitely sung on a podcast before. Even if it was being silly, I feel like we've definitely
being silly, goofing off. Yes,
like she didn't say it was serious.
I don't know.
I mean, the question was, would you like seriously sit down and try to lay some tracks? No, I said, would you sing on a podcast?
And I answered, I would never do it on a stream, but I have done it on a podcast, goofing off, or in like, you know what I mean? But not like serious. Like I'm not like trying. Like it's just you and me being dumb. Yeah. Or wait, like episode 5 of PSVG, I'm pretty sure I came back and sang "Caramelize Me" after they played it. I don't know if that's true. I think that's true. Who knows? So yeah, back to you though. Back to you. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't care. I'll sing. I'm not a great singer, but that doesn't just stop me from singing. I don't care.
Do you ever do karaoke? What would be your karaoke song of choice?
I don't know. Whatever comes on. I'll sing Wonderwall just to make Mo mad.
Listen, I would probably love hearing you sing Wonderwall, but at the end of the day,
you're missing out an Oasis, man.
No, what I'm saying is, I was not promised an Oasis song. I did not follow you for an Oasis song. I followed you because I thought I was going to hear a track from Michelle Branch's "Hopeless Romantic." Okay, I thought I was going to hear a track from someone I care about. All right. If you guys ever get a chance, Shadow on the Hopeless Romantic CD from Michelle Branch, phenomenal song. Just getting it over. All right. Next question. This is from our girl Shy, the homie, big fan of the brand, our buddy, and she asks, "How do you set up your New Year's resolution?" Now I know that some people, this is that time of year where the things are changing. So I actually made a little list here, and then you guys have a little time to think about what you would do. So here's my first one, Shy. Do set goals, okay? But make them short-term and build them up to your long-term one. Do not just say, hey, I'm going to lose 40 pounds. That's a horrible goal, okay? Give yourself little goals to build up to that big goal, all right? Don't overextend yourself. It is a new year, but baby, it's still 24/7 and 365. There's no extra time coming, okay? So understand nothing new is coming in 2019 except for the fact that our president's crazy, but we're not going to go there, all right? So, but the time hasn't changed, all right? Everything's the same. All right. Do schedule yourself some naps. Please give yourself nap time. It is important for everybody to have a nap once in a while. It's good for the body. All right. I'm not saying it has to be an hour. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. It's good for you. Don't daydream though, guys. And I'm going to throw that out there, Shy. Don't daydream. I know you're a daydreamer. Okay. You wrap that up. All right. And the reason is daydreaming and they don't get you nowhere. It's that rocking chair philosophy. All right. It gives you something to do in the moment, but you are going nowhere in life. You're going, no, let's not do that to yourself, kid. My last two part of this, do eat better. All right. It's good for you. It's not rocket science. Eat healthy. But if you're normally eating an orange a week and all of a sudden you try to have nothing but fruits and vegetables, you're going to last like an hour and a half. All right. Double the small number. So right now I have a potassium problem. I love pickles. I'll eat pickles all the day, but it's not the best for me. And they're not bad. They're not the best. So I need more bananas in my diet. So for me to do that, I don't like bananas. Right now, last couple of weeks, I was eating 1 to 2 bananas a week. Now I'm eating 4. And the reason I did it is I just put them in places near me. Check it out. Banana. All right. Right here next to me. But what I do is I make sure, hey, it's right there for me. I buy 4 for the week. Say by the end of this week, these 4 bananas are getting eaten. And the next week, 4 bananas again. I move the number progressively. Don't try to jump too quick, man. Just relax. Yeah. All right. So that's my advice on what you need to do on how you set up your goals. So Dev, New Year's goals. How do you set them up? What you got?
Usually I try to think about the things that I want to accomplish. And then, like you said, set the small goals to build to the big goal. Trying not to do anything that's like absurd or outrageous. Like there's no point in trying to do something that you know you're really not going to be able to do. Like you said, you don't have any extra time. So you have to be conscientious of the fact that if you're going to try to do something new that you didn't do the previous year, that you want to do different, you have to schedule time around it to actually be able to do that. So just being conscientious of the time that you want to put towards the goal and setting little goals and making sure that you inspect what you expect. So if you expect to be, halfway done with whatever the goal is, by June, you got to make sure that you're checking in and making sure that you're actually working towards it, because sometimes you got to readjust and reacclimate yourself. So just, making sure that whatever you want to do, whatever your goal is, that you are constantly actively working towards it and that you have little mini goals set up to get to whatever the big goal is.
Love it. And Justin, how do you set up your goals for the New Year's resolution?
Same thing, don't make huge outlandish goals. And also don't make goals that are, don't say I'm going to lose weight this year. Yes. Make a small goal for yourself. Say, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. That's a little more realistic. It's something that you can hit maybe early on in the year, and then you can continue by hitting that goal. You've already started to make habits that will help you continue that goal throughout the year. I usually don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but every year is a new year for you to change your life a little bit for the better. So I definitely believe in that. I know for me personally, I'm starting really small. I haven't read a book in ages, like really long time.
I got one for you. So yeah. You're ready.
I'm a little ashamed of it, honestly. I haven't read a book in a long time. Like that's bad. It's something you should be doing. So like I'm going to read, my goal is read 3 books, like that's not very many to a lot of people who read books a lot. But to me, for someone who hasn't read a full book in 5 years, that's a lot. So I'm going to start with that, kind of grow from there. So, and I think that's, kind of start small. You guys already said it. So
love it.
I guarantee you're going to read more than 3 books because you're going to read Child.
Mm-hmm. Now, I love the fact that he just set his goal. That's our next step. So, Dev, you got your goal for the year? What, you got anything you want to share?
So right now, I just have a short-term goal, and that is to get a couple of certificates for work, just a Network Plus and a Security Plus server certs or whatnot, so I can move up in the ranks and do a little something different, because me and the wife are trying to move to Houston, and I need to get a good enough job to be able to do that. So
that would be like half a country closer to me. I respect this choice.
Exactly.
Now, my goal for the year actually is pretty basic. I want to play more on the PS4, and I know that sounds like a joke. Like and anybody who knows me knows I don't have a big affinity for the PS4, But the thing is, a lot of people I'm really close to only play on the PS4. And I never play games with them. And I'm like, I really miss this guy. My buddy Jonte, he only plays on the PS4. You know what I mean? And we'll play Madden together, but that's it. We don't play anything else. And so I'm realizing like I'm missing out on some awesome game time with my friends. And so I think my new Scuff controller is going to help me with that. And so I'm pretty jacked to try that out. So that's mine. So as we come to a close, Justin, anything you want to pitch out to the people? Tell them where they can find you.
I'm on the Discord for PSVG. That's usually where I'm at. I hop in there every once in a while. On Twitter at Justin Pickard. And also I think I might be able to help you out with your resolution. I have Madden 19 on hold at the library. I should be able to pick it up next, pretty soon. And I think me and you are gonna be playing Madden pretty soon, buddy.
That's literally the nicest thing, most beautiful thing I've heard today. Thank you so much for saying that. Dev, how about you, brother? Anything you want to talk about? Anything that's coming out?
You can find me on the Twitterverse at DevATias. I'm always in the Discord. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PSVG. And also, if you're there, take a look at an article written by none other than Mo. It's a great article. So check that out. Other than that, just, come find me on Twitter.
The article we have talked about for the last year, it is up. It's on Patreon. I cut about 5 pages out. I cut out all the interview stuff only because I learned after doing more research, the way I asked my questions were a little biased. And so I felt like the numbers were biased. So I actually pulled those out. But yeah, it's up there. So you can follow us at PSVG OT. And our Patreon producer of the month, we're really excited for this one. It's Honey Nut Cheerios. Why? Because I had them for lunch and they were phenomenal. Thank you, Little B. I appreciate all you're doing. Really do. Now, with that, we are PSVOT. We are a storytelling family podcast. We love you. We're grateful for you being here. And that's game over. Have a good night.
Shut up and sit down.